You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
Battle Strategies with Green Irene here on the Pace Radio Network. Sharing strategies that combine the curative powers of cannabis, the healing suggestibility of hypnosis, and the power of neuro-linguistic programming to help you help you. Control chronic pain and fatigue, eliminate negative patterns of resolve, and build a brighter, healthier, happier you, starting now.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Green Irene. I'm an author, a researcher, a cannabis enthusiast, medicinal and recreational user. I am a certified and trained practicing hypnotherapist, neurolinguistic programming practitioner, and medicinal cannabis consultant. The information that I share throughout this series is, for all intent purposes, a summary of my studies and research notes on the subject as I have come to understand the topic and can relate it. More information can always be found on my website at www.greenirene.ca. Information is power, and cannabis may not be the cure-all that saves mankind, though in some capacities it is capable. Many facts about cannabis are prevailing over the fallacies perpetuated during the Prohibition era. And the curative qualities of cannabis, mind, body, and soul, are making mainstream conversation. And everyone seems to have some enlightened views about its use and consumption. That said, let's get on with today's episode. In today's episode, I'm going to focus on the curative healing properties of cannabis for chronic pain. I'm going to offer up some techniques for retraining your brain to reduce and evade flare-ups, as well as some healing hypnosis as, as a key for control. On that note, enjoy. Pain is a problem that hundreds of thousands of people have to live with every single day. And in modern times, it seems like pain itself has become the disease. Chronic pain affects everything you do, creating debilitating issues. It really can make life, or everyday life, and its activities seem pretty much near impossible. And almost everybody that is suffering from pain has heard at least one source say to them, well, you should be using cannabis for that. But what does that really mean if you're not already acquainted with cannabis? And if you are acquainted with cannabis, how do you use it therapeutically? These are some of the questions that I'm going to help answer today in specifically to chronic pain. I'm going to answer questions like how cannabis is going to be helpful, what kind you should be taking, and, so on and so forth. Cannabis operates very different from opiates. While most drugs or pharmaceuticals work by blocking neural passageways, cannabis actually catches the pain. It catches it without blocking it, for lack of a better term. Cannabis doesn't work on pain. And that's exactly what Inbal Sikoran, he was the head nurse of the Nyamadak Healthcare and Research Clinics. He says it's not a localized treatment like a lot of medications are. Cannabis actually works on improving and helping the body's entire framework. Therefore, the body can fix itself. Now, aside from pain management, cannabis can also improve things like sleep quality, which will give you better pain management skills. It helps to promote a more positive mood, which will give you better pain coping skills. And it supports the endocannabinoid system, which will give you better pain tolerance skills as well as healing, and ultimately regulating your body into a healthier state. Now, professional cannabis recommendations often begin with an individualized evaluation, which helps to determine which compounds are best for the patient's specific conditions. I'm having difficulty with the word specific today. But these recommendations, they tend to involve a combination of cannabinoids and terpenes. So, to clarify, cannabinoids or cannabinoids, depending on how you pronounce it, and that all depends on which part of the world you're in, these are the chemical compounds that are secreted by the cannabis flowers. There's somewhere between, there's over 100 that are known currently to scientists and researchers, and the two most popular, of course, being CBD and THC. Now, CBD is perhaps the most famous cannabinoid compound when it comes to inflammation, and THC is the most famous when it comes to analgesic reaction or efficacy. Terpenes are so you'll hear the term terpenes or terpenoids, and these are the aromatic compounds. These are the smells that are found in the plants. Cannabis plants contain particularly high concentrations of them. Now, terpenes not only have their own set of potential therapeutic benefits, but they can also increase the benefits of certain cannabinoids, creating what's known as the entourage effect. And this means that when the terpenes are interacting with the cannabinoids, the compounds actually increase each other's therapeutic benefits. There are a lot of studies that show while cannabis is beneficial across the board, determining the correct active ingredients for each patient and diagnosing appropriately is rather crucial to the treatment success. Around the world, there is a lot of research that's currently underway to help find and develop tailored cannabinoid-based treatments for various diseases, and many scientists believe that cannabinoids will soon be utilized as a preventative tool based on each individual's genetics, and thus be able to prevent diseases from developing altogether. That which is really, really cool. As cannabis has grown more popular, there's also been an influx of misinformation regarding cannabinoids. There are different strands and compounds that often get lumped together under one canopy without providing the patient a proper understanding of the plant's different properties and compounds. Now, the cannabis product that you choose should largely depend on the type of pain that you want to manage. And there are three main types of chronic pain that I'm going to address today. And they are the most common. Therefore, let's start with orthopedic pain. This includes back and neck pain. This is a naturally occurring pain that stems from the musculoskeletal system. In particular, it affects the spine, the joints, the muscles. Now, years of clinical research shows us that cannabis has repeatedly proven to be highly beneficial treatment for orthopedic pain reduction and management. In many cases, patients have been able to stop long-term opiate usage altogether, sparing them to the many unwanted side effects that go along with a laundry list of pharmaceuticals. So, further to that, research shows that cannabinoids that show the most promise for orthopedic cases tends to be those with high concentrations of THC combined with CBD. which acts as a type of support and activator for the THC. So the recommended terpenes for orthopedic pain include the parotin, brunel, and myrcene. So parotin-brunel and myrcene are the two best recommended terpenes, and you want a high THC with a combination of CBD. Personally, I like a 3-to-1. 3 THC to 1 CBD. So if my THC concentration is 15%, I want a 1%, 3-to-1. No, sorry, I guess a 5% CBD. Okay, I don't do math. The next type of pain that I'm going to address today is neuropathic pain, which includes symptoms that are associated with diabetes, associated with migraines, with lupus, with things like rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, etc. So neuropathic pain actually refers to the pain resulting from damage to the neural pathways. And this can be divided into 3 different groups in and of itself, like regular pain that's originating from, say, tissue damage, and that information is transmitted to the nervous system. Then there's peripheral neuropathic pain, and that usually results from stuff like damage to the remote nervous system, nerve pathways. And then there's the central neuropathic pain. This is pain that results from damage to the central pathways, such as the brain, spinal cord, or skull. Neuropathic pain becomes increasingly common with age, and notably, it can come on due to direct damage to the nervous system or internal diseases such as diabetes, fibromyalgia, etc., etc. The active cannabinoids that are recommended for neuropathic pain include THC, THCA. So that's THC in its acidic form. So in its raw state in the plant, it is THCA. CBD, which is cannabidiol, great for inflammation. And CBG, which is cannabigerol. Cannabigerol is fantastic cannabinoid that works very, very well on neuropathic pain. Hence, see if that cannabinoid is a part of the cannabinoid profile of the strain that you may consider using. The terpenes that are great for neuropathic pain include humulene, myrcene, beta-caryophyllene, and alpha-pinene. These are the best for neuropathic pain. You'll find them in strains like Granddaddy Purple in very high counts for Purple Project. You'll also find them in many other strains as well. Now, when it comes to inflammatory pain, common diseases and conditions that contribute to inflammatory pain include things like, arthritis, osteoarthritis, autoimmune diseases like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome, celiac disease, celiac disease, hepatitis, inflammatory bowel diseases, Crohn's, cystic, the list goes on. I mean, it can be a never-ending list, basically, when it comes to autoimmune deficiency conditions. So, some also, a lot of people, myself inclusive, include things. When it comes to inflammatory pain, this occurs in response to the tissue damage and inflammation, and it has become progressively common with increased life expectancy. It can significantly hamper the quality of life of an individual. Therefore, recommended cannabinoids for these conditions and inflammatory conditions include THC, THCA, CBD, CBDA, that means it's in its acidic raw form, CBC, which is cannabichromene, and CBG, which is cannabigerol. Now, common types or common terpenes that are used to combat inflammation include cineal, beta-caryophyllene, myrcene, limonene, and a few others, but those are the tops. Now, study after study has shown remarkable results for patients who treat their pain with cannabis. In one study, after only 6 months of treatment, 93.7% of the respondents reported improvement in their condition, and their reported pain level was reduced significantly. Side effects of cannabis users really are minimal. I mean, the most common side effect that patients report, of course, is dizziness. If you've never used it before, you're not familiar with the euphoria. Some people get cotton mouth or dry mouth, and a lot of people suffer from dry eyes or red eyes. But really, that's about the most extreme of side effects that you're going to experience utilizing cannabis as a therapy for pain management. Now, with the rise in number of patients using cannabis successfully to manage their pain, you can actually now find a lot of medical nurses and some doctors who have professionalized treating patients using medicinal cannabis. These healthcare professionals can help a patient find the strains that work best with their specific illness or condition. They can also help you determine if there's any drug contraindications, as well as provide medical support and advise you on making any necessary dosage adjustments based on your precise needs. Now, in order to you can also work with a therapeutic cannabis consultant such as myself, and if you'd like more information about this, we can schedule a discovery call, at which time we will talk about a strategy consultation in order to help you. Notably, not all pain is bad. Acute pain, for example, is the body's natural way to let the brain know that there's an emergency or a problem that needs tending to. Now, it's what we experience when we get, say a cut or a scrape, maybe a burn, sprain, something like that. We might also feel acute pain when one of our organs or biological systems stops functioning properly, like constipation, for example. When we feel acute pain, it's a signal to our brain that something's wrong and we need to do something about it right away. So pain is not necessarily a bad thing. Chronic pain, on the other hand, this is the body's emergency notification system gone haywire. Pain that lasts longer than, say, 3 to 6 months on average is really generally considered to be chronic pain. People who experience chronic pain can also suffer from anxiety, stress, sleep deprivation, depression, drug or addiction or substance abuse, and on top of all that, they're all often stigmatized and shamed by medical professionals, as well as family and friends sometimes. And any of these people can sometimes go as far as to tell the chronic pain sufferer that they're just making it up for attention or that it's all in their heads. Fortunately, there are options for dealing with chronic pain symptoms, and more hypnosis and NLP is truly being recognized as a very effective way to treat, manage, and even eliminate chronic pain. Now, there are a lot of different techniques that can be applied to chronic pain symptoms in or out of a formal hypnosis session. Imagining is one of them. In this technique, you imagine a pain dial, and the person can actually visualize controlling the intensity of the pain by turning an imaginary dial or knob. First, the pain is increased. This helps the person recognize that they do have some agency or control over how pain is experienced, and it's then followed logically that if the pain can be increased, it can also be decreased. People often experience a significant reduction in the intensity of pain when using this particular technique. Another technique is glove anesthesia. And so while we have a client or a patient in a trance state, what we'll do as a hypnotist is suggest a feeling of tingly or numbness in the hand or another part of the body. And this can provide adequate anesthesia for things like dental procedures or even minor surgeries, as well as chronic pain. So moving pain around the body is another technique that we use. Oftentimes it's possible to suggest that the person can imagine moving the painful sensation to a different part of the body, as in the pain dial technique. This reinforces the idea of agency. In other words, you have control over it. And then probably the one of the last techniques that I will use with my clients is disassociation. Disassociation can be achieved using guided imagery and visualization. If you want to experience a guided visualization, check out the show on Wednesdays at noon on the Pace Radio. It's called Cannabis and Creative Visualizations with Green Irene. What I basically do is the first half of the show, so the first 15 minutes or so, I talk about and highlight a particular strain of cannabis, and then the second half of the show, we actually do a medicated meditation, which is approximately 13 to 15 minutes to experience it. It's a type of hypnotic meditation. So the point is with dissociation that while you're in trance, as the person or patient, you get asked to imagine yourself in a calm, peaceful, and safe space. If you have difficulty imagining that, I will tell you to pretend to imagine that. This process helps you dissociate from the painful sensations and really get to a place where you're focusing on much more pleasant feelings. Now, chronic pain can also be rooted in or reinforced by past traumas and any other emotional causes. Painful relationship breakups, getting fired from a job, being in a traumatic accident, all of these things can create super powerful emotional associations with acute pain symptoms. And NLPers like myself, we say the same thing. Neurons that fire together wire together. So if you're attaching traumatic experience or painful emotional pain to a physical acute pain in the brain, those wires are now firing together. And if these emotional wounds are left unresolved, the pain symptoms can linger long after the traumatic event has passed. So in hypnosis, it is possible to bring healing to those emotional wounds, and in a lot of cases, that releases the physical pain symptoms as well. Now, no matter what the causes of chronic pain are for you, it can be highly beneficial to include hypnosis as part of the comprehensive strategy to finding healing and relief. Honestly, you want to combine a multitude of modalities and disciplines to help you. At your next doctor's appointment, perhaps, or with your therapist, whatever, talk about collaborating with a hypnotist or hypnotherapist, such as myself, and then you can book an appointment with me to help get you started. You can let me help you find the resources that are inside of you already, and up until now, you didn't even realize were there. We can work together to help you transform your health and wellness into something that affords you the life, the quality of living, so that you can live a life that you love. Schedule that free discovery call with me today at www.greenirene.ca and get started now, right away. The next tool that I use besides cannabis and hypnosis, and I use this in conjunction with hypnosis, is neuro-linguistic programming. Basically, what that means is training your brain. It's the language we use to train our brain to do what we want it to do our bidding. It's how we talk to ourselves. By chronic pain management, of course, what I mean is persistent rather than intense pain. And really, although it's very difficult to discuss pain objectively, because what's pain to me may be mere irritation to you, or vice versa, I'm going to start from the position that pain is a signal from the brain to let you know that something is wrong. It's for all intent and purposes, a warning sign. From there, I'm going to tell you about a recent study from Stanford University, which highlighted over 1,300 possible side effects and drug interactions from prescription drugs that were not mentioned on their patient information leaflets. This study concluded that each pharmaceutical had 329 adverse reactions on average. So if your pain is so intense that you feel you have no option but to take painkillers, then take them for as short a time as is possible, because you just don't want all those bad side things. Pain is a sensation, and it could be, for all intent purposes, argued that we have a choice in how we interpret it. So if we suggest that we need to kill pain, are we sometimes suggesting, or at the very least, giving that pain maybe a little too much credibility? You know, and would we feel helpless without the pain-killing tablets? You get where I'm going with this, right? Ellen Langer suggested that pain consists of many different sensations, and it may be that we could interpret pain simply as a sensation. Sensations, of course, do not remain the same, because a throbbing headache one moment may diminish to the extent where it's barely even noticeable the next. So noticing the changes gives the patient the chance to control the sensations, or for all intent purposes, may need to control them. Indeed, because the pain may subside on its very own. Now, when we return from the break, because we internally make representations in the form of pictures, sounds, and feelings, and I want you to think about this, we're going to examine those further. Because if we're able to change the picture, sound, or feeling, we can probably also improve the way that we are feeling. So, when we return, we're actually going to put NLP, hypnosis, and suggestive cannabis therapies in practice. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this message from our sponsors.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Who has huge buds? You do. If you shop at BMA Hydroponics, attend one of BMA's educational seminars and learn the secrets of growing, harvesting, processing, and consuming quality cannabis and cannabis products. Learn how to make better extracts, edibles, and medicinal creams at prices you can afford. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive, Belleville, or call 613-967-9888.
The only way to go.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Pace Radio is the people advocating cannabis education radio network.
Legacy 420 have an awesome array of cannabis-infused beverages, from pop to Nature's Nectar's teas, all in amazing flavors. What a selection! We even have a delicious mango-infused juice, and let me tell you, it's delicious.
Everything is infused in-house, so we buy our syrup from, the same place where everybody else buys their syrup for their pop, and the infusion is done in the lab. It's all canned here, labeled here, produced 100% on Tyndonega.
We have two lines of drinks. One is called our Nature's Nectar. That was our original line that we came out with. And then we also have a line under the Ready brand. We have them in 10 milligrams, 30 milligram, and 60 milligram cans.
What a great selection for a get-together with friends or after a long day. Remember, if you want to wet your whistle with on-site lab-tested products, come see your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch, yes, watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And welcome back. Glad you made it back. Before the break, we were talking about how hypnosis and NLP and cannabis all contribute to the therapy of treating chronic pain. But we didn't actually look at what hypnotherapy is and how to use it specifically. So let's take a look at what hypnotherapy is, what it involves, pardon me, and how it can make a significant difference for chronic pain patients such as yourself. You'll no doubt have heard of hypnosis, and there's a really good chance you might have even seen some dramatic hypnosis on stage or TV. Don't worry, there's no reason for concern. Real hypnosis is not about making you act like a fool or in a way that is out of your control. Real clinical hypnotherapy is a safe, relaxing way to address psychological problems and physical problems. It enables you to implement more positive thoughts and coping strategies so that you can be your best you. You simply retrain your brain and create the change that crafts a brighter tomorrow. If you're tired of battling behaviors and bad habits, or you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and if you're fed up with feeling like your happiness is being held hostage by chronic pain, anxiety, or depression, then hypnosis combined with NLP techniques and cannabinoid treatments is certainly the triage that you're looking for. Now, hypnotic or trance-like states have been used to treat physical and mental health since ancient times. The Egyptians used dream temples, while the Greeks used sleep temples, otherwise known as hypnos, to treat the ill health of people. Evidence of hypnosis techniques can actually be found in the Bible dating as far back as 1500 BC. Now, from there, hypnosis continued to be used and developed. In 1841, the term hypnosis was first used by a Scottish ophthalmologist named James Braid. He started to realize that hypnosis was psychological rather than anything mystical. And since then, hypnosis has been researched and developed scientifically. In the present day, it's being used to treat a wide variety of health problems, including and especially successfully with chronic pain. James Braid's work was specifically instrumental. Hypnosis makes use of the mind-body connection. Understanding how our thoughts and feelings can influence our physical health, just as our physical health can influence our mental health, hypnotherapy uses relaxation and visualization techniques to guide you into a state of deeper peacefulness. Similar, sort of, to mindfulness meditations. Now, the brain lets go of distractions and becomes more focused. When you're in a hypnotic state, your pulse and respiration rate slows down. Your brain starts to produce more alpha brainwaves. Alpha brainwaves indicate relaxation, positive mood, reduced anxiety, and increased creativity. Now, When you're in this hypnotic state, you are less inhibited. You're more likely to be able to access memories and face problems that you might have been avoiding, or address feelings that you may have been bottling up. You're also more open to suggestion. There was a 2019 study, a study done in 2019 that defined hypnosis as a waking state of awareness or consciousness in which a person's attention is detached from his or her immediate environment and is absorbed by inner experiences such as feelings, cognition, and imagery. During hypnotherapy, the therapist can help you to address and solve problems. They can guide you through replacing negative thoughts with your positive ones. They can aid you in seeing how you can change your behaviors to live well and better cope with your situations. The hypnotherapist may use imagery, I know I use it often, and ask you to visualize specific situations or scenes in order to help guide you towards your goals. I'll also ask you to speak during the hypnosis and ask you to interact just to make sure that we get to the root of the problems. Now, the use of imagery is very important during a state of deep relaxation like hypnosis. The right side of our brain is being activated more dominantly than the left side. The right side of our brain is like our unconscious mind, the part which is more emotional and creative, while the left side of our conscious mind, the part which is more logical, the right side of our brain responds to imagery and symbols, as this study explains. Therefore, using imagery helps us to really engage with that side of the brain in this hypnotic state. Now, research shows that when someone is imagining something during a hypnotic state, the same areas of the brain are being activated as if the person was actually in that situation. Mirror neurons in our brains activate when we're imagining actions or if we're watching other people perform actions. So the use of imagery is very powerful with many potential uses, and this is the basis for graded motor imagery, which is a therapy which uses visualization to train the brain away from pain. Hypnosis can be used to address mental illness such as anxiety, to deal with the previous trauma, and to provide relief from any physical health issues in that state. Now, furthermore, people vary in how they will respond to hypnosis and how open they are to hypnotic suggestion. Patients who are fairly suggestible under hypnosis can show improvements in pain relief. This applies to the majority of us. However, there are those who are highly suggestible who will have greater relief from pain, which is longer lasting. How responsive we are to hypnosis will depend on many factors, including our motivation to manage our pain and individual personality traits. Rather than trying to reduce the pain itself, hypnosis for chronic pain is often more focused on acceptance of your chronic pain, with the aim of reducing fear and anxiety around it. Our perceptions of pain can greatly influence our pain levels and how we manage it. If we're fearful, this can often lead to us avoiding situations we perceive might worsen our pain, known as fear avoidance. This avoidance can, in fact, worsen our symptoms over time. Hypervigilance is very common in pain patients, and that basically means that patients become extremely aware of painful sensations, and this focus on pain makes the pain worse. It can often lead to pain catastrophizing, meaning patients are worrying about their pain excessively, just way too much. Now, these negative perceptions and emotions about chronic pain can reinforce to our brain that it needs to continue producing pain messages, and therefore it perpetuates the pain cycle. quite possibly even worsening it. They can also be very distressing feelings to live with. By addressing these negative emotions and reducing fear, a patient's quality of life can be vastly improved and their pain levels considerably reduced. Some patients may benefit from hypnotherapy sessions which replace self-doubt and feelings of helplessness with feelings of confidence and empowerment. In this case, I usually guide you through visualizing situations which you usually find difficult and pain-inducing. For example, I may help you to replace the expectation of pain and the feeling that you're not able to do anything about it with a feeling of being pain-free and taking control of the situation. Now, this type of session can actually help you to understand that you can do something about chronic pain and that things can improve. Now, some hypnosis sessions focus on inducing an analgesic effect. This means that they use suggestions of being pain-free, having reduced pain, or having increased functioning to help you or patients reduce your pain levels. This pain relief technique is known as hypnoanalgesia, and it's been utilized for many pain scenarios with success. In fact, James Braid used this this treatment or technique in particular to perform surgeries during World War II. There was a couple of studies and in-depth studies done on hypnoanalgesia, which explains that it's been highly effective in treating many types of acute and chronic pain, including chronic oncological pain, HIV, neuropathic pain, pain during extraction of molars, pain associated to physical trauma, pain in surgical procedures, etc., 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 etc. Some sessions may actually focus on forgetting past negative memories of pain, effectively trying to retrain the brain to forget that certain situations should cause pain. Now, some therapists choose to use imagery to replace the sensation of pain with more pleasant sensations such as warmth. And I do this sometimes. For example, during hypnosis, I may ask you to imagine warmth in the place of pain from now on. And any time that you feel that pain could be a suggestion that I propose while you're in a state of hypnosis. I may incorporate the concept regularly in sessions until it becomes a habit, which happens in your day-to-day life without you even thinking about it. And this could help your brain to break the association between certain painful movements or situations, and in turn help you to break free of the chronic pain cycle. Now, since hypnotherapy can put you in a highly relaxed state, it can help to reduce stress levels and break the stress and pain cycle. So things like muscle tension can be eased and stiffness reduced. If hypnotherapy is engaged in regularly, this reduction in stress can markedly improve chronic pain symptoms. This type of hypnoanalgesia session can actually have fantastic results for pain patients, as many testimonials prove that I've received. So, going on, hypnotherapy sessions which focus on changing pain beliefs and reducing pain sensations through hypnoanalgesia have actually been shown to have most positive outcomes. So when therapists such as myself work on reducing the physical sensation of pain and we build a more positive, helpful perception of pain, chronic pain patients show significant improvements. And there are plenty of studies to prove it. Some have shown that as much as 70% of chronic pain patients find their pain and other symptoms are reduced. It's important to remember that unlike common misconceptions, at no point during hypnotherapy are you ever out of control of your own body and mind. You can stop and open your eyes at any time. You can say no, and you are completely in control. Rather than being scary, the experience should be relaxing, and the hypnotic state itself will feel different for everybody. but generally it's described as being a very pleasant, trance-like calm state. And once the session is finished, the therapist, such as myself, will gradually guide you through opening your eyes and becoming readjusted to your surroundings. Typically, we'll give you a few minutes to regain your alertness and then walk you through the session, asking you how it went and how you felt about it. I'll often make adjustments the following time once you've expressed anything that you felt worked particularly well for you. Now, in between, you may be given some recommendations to do some self-hypnosis, and audios may be provided for you. Now, once your sessions have ended, hypnosis often has lasting results for patients, and some patients may choose to continue their hypnotherapy in their own time at home by listening to the recordings. In most cases, chronic pain and hypnotherapy is effective inside of the first 4 to 6 appointments, and that is all that is required. Hypnotherapy may not be suitable for everyone, but it is a very effective way to reduce chronic pain for most. Rather than being scary or magical, hypnotherapy is a scientifically proven way to use the mind-body connection to treat health conditions. NLP, by the very same token, often involves a trance-like state, using guided imagery and visualization so you can create compelling and helpful pictures in your mind, in your own language. This is so that you can create change in your internal experience. And pain is something that is an internal experience. So creating a new picture of this pain or discomfort can actually help map across and create a new shift of the sensory experience. The successful way to do this is to create first the color of your pain, the size that you would see the pain. Does it have an angry voice? What temperature is it? And this gives it a strong visual element. Creating this visualization activates ideas, and to be free from the pain, this must be an idea first. Now, research shows that visualization works to create a physical change. When we visualize wound healing, headache stopping, or pain melting away, clients can actually step into the visualization that they created to create the change. Now, by creating this picture of pain that shows that you can create a picture of something that you do not want, this demonstrates that you can also create a picture of something that you do want, right? Okay. You then create a picture of the color of comfort. The size of the picture can be smaller so you can create comfort. If the pain was moving or tense, it can be soft and smooth. It can have sensations of a massage or beautiful sounds or a soothing voice. These changes in the submodalities of the picture show that you can create a shift that changes the experience from pain and discomfort to being free from pain and having comfort. Thus, by creating new pictures, you can actually easily and effortlessly have a life that you want. This is something that you'd want to do, isn't it? So this will then be stored in your unconscious mind, because this is where any learning changes in behavior and new habits are formed. Another technique that you can use is to lay down or sit down and imagine yourself relaxing. Use your imagination so you can be free from pain, so that you can learn to control your body and mind and feel comfortable. Run a quick scan on your body and ask your unconscious mind where the most comfortable spot on your body is. This could be anywhere from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. You can then give this comfortable spot a soothing color, soothing sounds, calming sensations, and any other visuals or sensory experiences you want to create. Once you have this comfortable spot, you can imagine this comfort you've created going throughout your whole body. This comfort melts away any discomfort. This shows you can create feelings as well as visualizations anytime that you want to control pain. And finally, cannabis. Okay, so cannabis. Bottom line is the internet is rife with the best of lists on which strains are going to be best for chronic pain. And while they can be helpful as a place for patients to get started, it really is important to know that almost none of these lists are based on any sort of scientific study. They're all anecdotal, and everybody experiences cannabis differently. It really, you have to find what works for you. So again, I recommend having a journal. Volume 1 of the Cannabis Consumption Companion, or the Bud Buddy by myself, is available on Amazon, and you can get it there. Importantly, the most important thing is cannabis is a highly individual experience. And further to that, there is a multitude of different types of chronic pain, from inflammatory to migraine to cancer, and a whole laundry list in between. It's incredibly challenging, if not entirely impossible, to create a top 10 list of the best strains for cannabis when there's just so much individual variation between people and types of pain. So without robust and well-controlled studies, how do you get started looking for the best strains? Well, the most accurate suggestions actually come from the surveys and session reports. They, of course they have their limitations, but they are really helpful in that they come from other people as well that are using cannabis for chronic pain. And, that often provides inspiration for other patients. Ultimately, the best strain to stop chronic pain is going to depend on you. Whatever works best for you is going to work best for you. And undoubtedly, self-experimentation, careful titration are going to be needed to match the strain with the type of chronic pain that you're suffering from. Now, with these caveats out of the way, if you experience chronic pain, you might be curious about which strains provide the most benefit based on patient surveys. Notably, many have a well-balanced cannabinoid profile with relatively even THC to CBD ratios. Some of the strains that I found most popular are, the Royal Purple Kush. This is a hugely popular strain in the treatment for chronic pain, and any of the purples for that matter. Granddaddy Purple, Purple Project, etc. It's a highly potent option, and if you have a high tolerance to THC, definitely go with the Royal Purple Kush. Another one is OG Shark. It was, I believe OG Shark contains 21 to 24% THC and less than 1% CBD, but it really is great for arthritis. I found OG Shark to be fantastic for treating arthritis. Now then there's, CBDs, And different house blends contain different levels of CBDs. One of my favorites is Harlequin. Another is Sweet Skunk CBD for arthritic pain because it really works. It's about 8 to 10% THC and about 11 to 13% CBD, which is awesome. Dream Queen is the second most effective strain reported on my list of treatment for chronic pain. And LA Confidential hit the list, and you're getting the idea. You want a nice balanced blend. In one of the most extensive reviews to date, the National Academies of Science reported that cannabis was an effective treatment for chronic pain. In a publication called The Health Effects of Cannabis and Cannabinoids, the Current State of Evidence and Recommendations for Research, Reviewers concluded that in adults with chronic pain, patients who were treated with cannabis or cannabinoids are much more likely to experience a clinically significant reduction in their pain symptoms. In just about every single patient survey on medical cannabis use, people consistently report pain as a primary condition treated. Also, if the reports are true, patients in states with legal access or countries with legal access genuinely favor cannabis for pain over opiates. Yay! Effectively based on the hard science and the growing patient reports, it seems evident that cannabis is an effective treatment for certain types of chronic pain. Two types in particular have gotten the attention of researchers, and that's the neuropathic and pain related to MS. It has the most extensive studies, but there's probably going to be a place for cannabis medicine and many other types of chronic pain as more and more research becomes available. Significantly, the treatment of chronic pain is moving away from traditional ideas towards cannabis-based medicines, and it is fascinating to see where this research is taking us. On that note, there are different methods of consumption that you can use. Inhalation will provide the fastest, quickest relief within 10 to 30 seconds, though smoking is the most wasteful and ineffective way. That's combustion. It's better to vape your cannabis using a digital vaporizer such as the Volcano or Storz & Bickel the Mighty. You can also use topicals, which are really good for localized surface type pain and inflammation. I use it often on my knees, and I talk about this in a variety of other shows. For more information related to today's show, please visit my website at www.greenirene.ca. Also, if you would like to book an appointment with me, either for a hypnotherapy session or for a battle strategy session, let's find out how to create a plan for you that helps you help you. Or you just want to talk to me and find out what kind of things, what options are available to you? What kind of things can you do? Definitely book an appointment through the website at www.greenirene.ca. And on that note, I want to say thank you very kindly for tuning in today. This is Battle Strategies with Green Irene here on the Pace Radio Network. Broadcasting live every Friday and airing several times throughout the week on CBG TV.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville, and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network.